Hi. Getting sharp images is a key element to most kinds of photography. Achieving sharp focus is largely a function of aperture and shutter speed, but not the same as getting a maximum depth of field. Here we're talking about achieving sharp focus in one area of the photo. Now, the first step in achieving sharp focus is to make sure your viewfinder is calibrated to your eye. To do this, you use the diopter adjustment dial, usually located on the outside of your viewfinder. To use this, simply look through the viewfinder, autofocus on something, then adjust the dial until the image in the viewfinder looks its sharpest to your eye. Slow shutter speeds can lead to blurry images. The reciprocal rule is a guideline for determining the slowest safe shutter speed when handheld shooting. The rule is, the slowest shutter speed should be no slower than the reciprocal value of the focal length of the lens you're using. This is a lot simpler than it sounds. Think of your focal length as a fraction and use the reciprocal fraction as your slowest shutter speed. So, if you're using a 50mm lens, think 50 over 1. The reciprocal would be 1/50th of a second. Or, on a 200mm lens, 200 over 1 would equal 1/200th of a second, and so on. Apply this to any focal length you're using. The better the lens, the sharper the image. High quality optics and better build quality will always give better results. Some lenses even have image stabilization features. I'm a big fan of this. Image stabilization can allow shots to be taken up to 4 steps slower than the reciprocal rule states. So if you can afford this, I highly recommend it. Unfortunately, high quality lenses are considerably more expensive than your average consumer lens. All lenses have an aperture value at which they'll produce their sharpest possible image. This is generally about 2 or 3 f-stops down from your widest aperture, but can vary greatly from lens to lens. So, to test this, here's what you're going to do. First, you need the camera and the lens that you want to test, and you'll need a tripod. The tripod will prevent any kind of camera shake, giving you nice sharp images. You're also going to need a page of a magazine or something with some really sharp text on it that the camera can focus on. I've put that on the wall behind me, and I've put some light on it because it's kind of dark in here, so you might need a lamp or something to light that with. Now, to set up your camera, you want to choose aperture priority. This will simplify the whole exercise as you won't have to worry about your shutter speed. You also want to choose about 1 or 200 ISO. This will give you nice, sharp, noise-free images for comparison later. And you also want to choose the shortest possible timer setting you have. This prevents camera shake, also giving you nice, sharp images. Now set your camera to its widest aperture, in this case 2.8, and put the camera on the tripod. Now focus on the image. Autofocus should work fine in this case. And take a shot. Now take a series of shots, adjusting your f-stop down 1 stop each time. Do this for all the f-stops on your lens. Then download the images into your computer. The sharpest image is the optimal f-stop setting for your lens. For best results, look at your images at least 100% magnification. With this 70mm lens, the image is quite soft at f2.8 and becomes noticeably sharper between f5.6 and f14, but it's at its sharpest at f8. One quick note, if you bump and move the camera during this exercise, you should start over.